Welcome to the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the podcast dedicated to the commercial food equipment repair industry. My name is Pat Finley. I'm a lead master certified technician at General Parts Group and a certified Sufesa trainer. My goal is to shine a light on what I believe to be one of the most interesting and rewarding industries a field service technician can work in. I love the work I do, and I'm glad you're here listening to this podcast. In this episode, Dusty and I talk about training opportunities in the commercial food service repair industry. So we just want to talk about some training opportunities in this career field. Nothing formal. I mean, we just have a little session talking about some of the things we've done or some opportunities that are out there. So, me personally, we offer some in-house training. New hires ride along with an experienced tech for a while. If they have no experience, they ride with them for a little longer. But we also will have manufacturers in. We try to anyways. We got Rationale coming in a couple weeks to go to, and it's all just varies. I mean, it just depends. We try to do a monthly or every couple of weeks. We do a little like in-house thing. So last time was ice machine. So I taught the new guys how to properly tear down an ice machine, clean it properly, put it back together, testing procedures and that kind of stuff. I was actually supposed to do one yesterday, but we had all that snow up here, so I didn't end up coming to the shop. So I was supposed to do millivolt fryers. I got some pit codes we were going to tear apart and explain how the millivolt system works, how to diagnose it, how to troubleshoot it, and what manufacturers want under warranty. That's a big thing. We get a lot of kickback from manufacturers, so I'll make sure the guys are trained right and they know what information the manufacturers want, so we don't have to worry about that kickback. So, but I mean, it's just a few of the things we offer here and we do here. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard a whole lot about what you guys do. I mean, you probably do the same type of thing, just ride along and in person. So,
no, mainly the bulk of what we do. When I first started here, like I said, never done kitchen stuff, never worked on any kitchen equipment. So we had a couple guys that did it. So they did mainly in person. They'd have me meet guys on jobs, do ride-alongs. A lot of times, like if my day was slow, they would say, "Hey, go over here, meet this guy or this guy. They're working on this. Help them out." So a lot of my stuff was hands-on, and then we got into Sufesa, and I did that in-person training. So.
yeah, Sufesa is pretty cool. I mean, they offer a lot of different things. I'm not just saying because I teach refrigeration, but I mean, they have so many different things, and I don't think they do the best job like communicating everything they offer. Because I mean, they do new tech training, which is for guys that have never done this before. I mean, it teaches them how to use tools, basic understanding of certain things, and then it goes into there's like a 3-day electrical class. There's electric, gas, steam, and water, which I think what you took, wasn't it?
Yeah,
EGSW.
EGS. Yep, that's it.
My son's going to that coming up. I think he missed the cutoff for the April-May one, so he may have to wait till the March-April. I think he may have to wait till May or so. But
Dan's gonna roast him that whole class.
oh no, he'll have
He'll
it rough. So but he'll learn. He's doing pretty good. So I was hoping to get him in the earlier one than the later one because just the sooner he can do it, the better, I think. So what's up, Ben? Busy. So Ben's with the PKI group. He does a lot of installs. Does some pretty cool stuff. So I follow him on Instagram and some other stuff. So he's always traveling, it seems like, and installing some crazy kitchens. So thanks for watching, Ben. So manufacturers, COVID, they all stopped their in-person training. It was kind of crazy. I've never seen anything like it, but I mean, it was a crazy time. But they all switched to a lot of online stuff. So I think just about everybody has a YouTube page, and they offer some training based on a YouTube page. And some have some tests you can sign up for if you complete the YouTube class. Some have an actual class you walk through online training. I know my son's done a bunch. He's done the Garland one. He's waiting to get the email for the test for it. He's getting ready to do a champion dish machine one. They said it's like 21 hours of videos on YouTube
really?
and stuff. I was like, holy smokes. But he's done some online stuff for multiplex for the blending cup stuff for McDonald's. Those are pretty fun to work on. So I'm glad it's him and not me because I hate jamming my hands in those things.
So those are like all free on YouTube, or is it course that goes along with it?
Yeah, a lot of it's free on YouTube, and then some of the manufacturers have it listed, but a lot of times you just go to these manufacturers' websites or the YouTube channels. It has like a training section in there, and you can just start taking stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you email in that you completed it, and they'll send you a certificate or whatever, or just let you know that you completed it, so you can give to your boss or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
it's become pretty popular. So
I
I
know
know. Good.
the Manitowoc, they have on their website, they have an entire, I think they have like a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 like training programs,
Mm-hmm.
and you go through like these modules, and then you take like a certification test at the end, and then they send you like a little certificate. But I mean, it covers like all their product lines, and then also like their basic operation. So I did all those once, so that was cool.
Yeah. I know Frymaster, they used to have all their level one stuff online.
Hmm.
Back before COVID, they tried doing like a level one online, and then a level two was people like me. They had a trainer program where we would actually go and teach level two training. I had fryers I drug around all over the country, and we go teach. And it was just for like the general parts people.
Hmm.
So I'd teach level two on the fryers, and then they take the test, and we send that information in, and then they'd be level two certified, so they could do startups and service work, and then that qualified them. Once they had a little more hands-on experience, they could go to level three down in Shreveport, which is a blast.
Hmm.
I recommend that to anybody. So,
Is that just the in person, the level 3?
yeah, it's Shreveport.
Mm.
It's 6 days. It's like 5.5 days, and it's all kinds of hands-on. It's classroom stuff. They treat you like kings. I mean, that has probably been the top-notch class I've ever been to as far as like 5-6 days. It was crazy. So.
Hmm. That's pretty neat.
So, any training you're looking forward to this year, or trying to get into, or anything?
Um, there's a few things I've been looking after. I was wanting to go to the combi oven class in the Safesa one that they have, because I think they have quite a few manufacturers there, but I think I've probably missed the window on that.
It actually got
Uh,
pushed back to this fall.
oh, so it's not even in
No,
March
so
anymore.
nope, it got pushed back to this fall. I don't know if it's been announced, but I was trying
Okay.
to send some people to it, and it got pushed back. So,
Okay. Well, then maybe I'll weasel my way in there. But I've actually talked to someone about that Frymaster training. That would be cool. Um, and honestly, like if we're growing in the way we are with like dish machines, I wouldn't mind like if that's a possibility. If someone does a dish machine um, course or courses, that would be neat too.
I'm pretty sure Champion does one online. Like I said, my son's supposed to do one. It said like allocate like 21 hours. So,
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
used to have to. I mean, just I'll find out some stuff this week. Well, next week when I go to NAFM, try to see if I can't get some information from some of these guys and see what they say. But there's a lot of stuff online. And it's weird.
Yeah.
I know Garland's opened up in person stuff, and it's all based out of Cleveland. They got an office building over there, and they've got several different grills over there. I think also some other product lines train out there too. So we'll see.
Yeah. I know. I think Well Built. I think it's Well Built that has the kitchen care course. I don't know if they do it anymore, but evidently before COVID, they used to do like sorry,
Oh, you're all right.
no, they used to do like the week long. It was called the kitchen care course.
I've never. It's gonna sound bad, but I've never had like actual ice machine training. I just kind of learn online and read the books and manuals, and so I've kind of figured it out. So that was one of my goals for 2022, and it didn't happen. That'll be one of my goals for 2023 is try to get some ice machine training. So some factory training, anyways, and not just. I've done the afternoon at the hotel where they bring in 100 guys and they feed you lunch, and they give you a book, and it's pretty much a sales pitch. Sell their ice machine. Why their ice machine is better than anybody else's, and they say it's training, but that's not training to me. I've done all kinds of training. In my 16 years doing this, I've done manufacturer employer driven, where it's just videos that we have, or other technicians came in and done training. Um,
Mhm.
done the online. When we hire new guys, we actually sign them up for a year of Igniter Labs. I don't know if you've done any of
Okay.
that stuff. Have you seen that?
I've looked into that a little bit. I know they have like a Wendy's specific course on there, and they have quite a few classes on there. But I didn't look too far into it as far as like signing up for any of the classes. But it looks like they're adding more stuff to it, so it's probably a possibility.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So they get a year of Igniter Labs, and it's all different kinds of stuff. I mean, there's basic electric, and then there's some that are based on certain pieces of equipment. So it's a
Hmm.
pretty wide variety of stuff. Um, so they get that for a year. Like I said, green guys, no experience. They're going to ride around some for a while. Um,
Hmm.
my son's been off and on with guys for I think 4.5, 5 months now.
Hmm. Does he?
I'm trying to push a year for him. Try to just make sure he's comfortable in it. Now we let him go out and do some part hangers and some diagnosis stuff, but he's not going to be fully on his own for a while. But I mean, I'd
Yeah,
rather spend the time and invest in him and train him right than to rush it and get him out there and just make him hate life and hate everything else. So
exactly. And you're building a more valuable technician that way too.
yeah,
So I mean, if you just spend the money for that first year, I mean, it's sometimes it's operating at a loss, but you'll gain that back because you have a more quality technician, as opposed to a lot of companies who kind of just throw their guys out there who aren't doing quality work that costs you so much more money.
I tell everybody, man, I got 2.5 weeks and get kicked out. My uniforms came in. They're like, "Hey, you can go on your own now." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
We'll see
Um,
what happens.
Sink or swim, and luckily I got that don't quit mentality when it comes to work, at least. So it worked out. So
Hmm.
Troy Watson says he's a field trainer at RSI. They have their Texan training riding with our trainers for a full 6 months. RSI, are you out of
Is that
Dallas?
Arizona?
I think it's Dallas.
Is it?
Maybe I'm not sure. That's who I think it is. He'll reply back. So Michael Ligon, I'm 56, getting into more Fryer Master and Garland McDonald's units, Dallas Fort Worth. So you work with John then. Um, yeah, the Garland units at McDonald's. You really have to be trained to work on those. There's been some stuff in the past. Some guys got killed working on them live, and they shouldn't have. So they offer plenty of training, especially for in-house guys or authorized service agencies. So plenty of opportunities to get trained on them. Don't let the age of 56 scare you. I've got some guys that are upper 50s, early 60s, just starting out. So I mean, it's a good career. So Adam Roberts, I got thrown out in the field the first week or two as well. I started. It was brutal, man. I just had people I could call. Um, so I'm looking forward to trying to do some ice machine training this year.
Are you
I
gonna
guess
be you gonna get some training or you're gonna instruct the training?
I want to get some. Like I said, I've never had a formal ice machine class. So it's just
Oh, okay.
so I sometimes I struggle. I mean, most of the time I can figure them out, but sometimes I struggle. But luckily, most of the ice machines have great manuals,
Hmm.
service manuals, and kind of fumble my way through it. So
They have great tech support too. I was working on an isomatic, and I just had a couple simple questions, and the guy I talked to, his name was Dusty, as well. That's why I remember that. It's like the only time I remembered a tech support's name, and super smart, super knowledgeable. Filled me in, sent me a bunch of diagrams, wiring diagrams, schematics, and stuff. So most of those, as well as quite a few other manufacturers of kitchen equipment, you have good tech support, and you can kind of use that. I try not to use it as like a hey, give me the answer, more so as like semio diagram or teach me how to get to this point. Like I need
like
to figure out.
when I give people tech support, I'm bad about like I'll ask questions. Like if I
Mm-hmm,
don't know what it is a lot of times, but I ask questions to get them to check, so they kind of
mm-hmm,
like work through it and figure it out themselves. I mean, a lot of times guys
yeah,
call me and I'd be like, "Oh, it's this." I could tell them, but I'm like, if I just tell them, they're not going to understand why. I can
yeah,
ask them questions where they work towards the answer, and then they feel like they figured it out themselves, and
yeah.
they learn from that. So
A lot of tech support now will just tell you there's a certain big manufacturer. I don't want to mention any names, but there's a big manufacturer, and you'll tell them the symptoms. They're like, oh, it's probably this. Here's a part number, and you're like,
uh,
oh, no, man. Like, no, I'm not taking that. Nope, because if it doesn't work or if that's not the issue, I'm not going to be like, well, Chad at tech support.
yeah, so I'm glad to see that a lot of the manufacturers are getting back into training now. It was rough there for a while, and I mean, a lot of them are still understaffed. I mean, I called Pitco yesterday, and I was number 25 when I got
Oof,
transferred over. I was literally on hold for like an hour and 10 minutes. So I
gosh.
guess I have one guy that's out in the field working. And they had another guy call in, so it was two guys, and I was like, holy smokes! And I just
Just
needed a
two guys working tech support?
yeah, and I just needed
Jeez.
a part number, but the parts people couldn't help me out because it was an ultra fryer, so it was
Mm,
like an older one too, and they're like, "Well, did you look on Parts Town?" I was like, "Yeah, it's not on here." And like they just start giving me all these part numbers. Like, no, these are right. I'm looking up at Parts Town. I'm like, this doesn't match. So they had to
Yeah.
transfer me to tech support, and that's when the hour and 10-minute wait began.
Mm. I know I hate calling, specifically, Pitco, but because you when you hear that pre-recorded thing and they're like, your caller number 37, and you're just like, put the phone on speaker. It's like I'm gonna be here a while.
Well, he literally said that the day before yesterday they had like 37. It was the highest that's ever been. It was 37 people in queue, and I was like, "Holy smokes!"
That's nuts, man.
I'd be banging my head against the wall if it said you were number 37. And I always like, I'm tempted to hit that. We'll call you back when your spots, comes up. I'm like, man, they don't ever work.
Man, Frymaster, no, Penny Penny will actually do that.
Will they?
Yeah, if you do, I can vouch for that. Like, if you put your number in the queue, because they're always backed up too. I've never had them not call me back. So, and Vulcan does too, I believe, but they don't leave a callback number. So if you don't answer it, you're screwed, and you got to call back and get in the queue again.
So yeah, so a lot of manufacturers are getting back into it. One of the things we hit on earlier is Cefesa.
Hmm.
There's a ton of training through there. I mean, it's not just technician driven too. There's managers training there. There's install training there. I, I I think we need to do a better job of putting that out there.
Hmm.
Like I said, we did new tech training, electric, gas, steam, water. There's an electrical class, like a 3-day electrical class. There's a 5-day refrigeration class that I teach. I'm sure there's more I missed, but it's just a great resource, especially if you're a Cefesa company. You get a pretty good deal in the class, and I mean, the thing is a lot of times your manager just sees, you're coming out of the field for so many days, and they get a number your average, so average $1,000 or $2,000 a day or whatever it is. They just see that you're gone for 5 days, and they're going to miss out on $10,000 to $15,000 in sales.
Hmm.
They don't see that, okay, if I don't train this guy, we're going to lose customers. We're going to lose, manufacturer warranty stuff. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. So, trying
You
to get
lose
them to,
guys that way too, because if a technician's frustrated because he doesn't have proper training, I mean, a lot of times that's when your turnover rate's huge, is lack of training. I've even talked to guys before, and they're like, "Oh, well, I would do this work if I could do more training," and it's just kind of a scary thing. So you have to invest, or you'll lose guys on top of everything else.
I'm not going to lie, man. I've done a lot of training on my own just because I want to know how stuff works. And, I've seeked out training. I've pushed the issue. I've done some of Trevor Matthews stuff. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, the refrigeration mentor. He had
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
did one of his classes and I learned a ton. He was really great. Um,
That dude's super smart. His knowledge of compressors is like science, like otherworldly.
yeah, all
So,
refrigeration. He's like, he's something else, man. He's crazy. So I look forward to talking to him and meeting him in person in a
mhm.
couple weeks at AHR. So Bobby says I called Comotherm Tech Support and the guy was amazing. Do not remember his name. I've had pretty good luck with Comotherm Tech Support. I've got some people's phone numbers I probably shouldn't have, so I get pretty lucky. I just kind of text them, "Hey, you available?" And generally, if they're available, they'll reply right back. So,
Mm.
Henny Penny has a text line. I think is it True? I think True Refrigeration has a line like you can like for part numbers, you can like text them like the model
Yeah,
and
they
serial
do.
what you're looking for, and they'll text you right back like a couple hours later. I'm like, that was the greatest thing I ever did when I seen that. One day I stumbled across that and I was like, oh, I don't have to call. I texted my model serial I was looking for, and they replied back. And I was like, this is great. So
I have that number still saved in my phone because there's a true text conversation, and I also have Beverage Air. They'll do tech support over text too.
nice, nice.
You can text them, data, and then they'll reply with further steps, or they'll give you a part number. They do it. I mean, it's usually within about 15-20 minutes per text message, but I mean, still not bad if you're actively working and you're just getting information back like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Bobby says beverage areas text. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize they had that. So anything you worked on this week absolutely kick your butt?
Yes, yes, it has. Pitco for our transformer.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you texted me about that. Did you get the right
man,
one?
yeah. Well, I got the right one and put it in tomorrow morning. So it's But to get to it was kind of like one of those mind-boggling things. Obviously, you got to pull the crumb tray and the filter pan out, and you got to access it from the back. Couple screws it drops down, but it's compressed in there, and it's got that little lip on it in the back. So you almost have to pull that whole bracket off so you can get leverage on it to pop it down. But I went through all that. You're laying in grease, and then you're like, oh damn, wrong transformer. So put it all back together, and I got to go back and do it all again tomorrow. But that's kind of how you learn things. It's part of it, really. So
You got it out once, and now you know how to get it out. You
yeah.
texted me, and I was like, dude, I have no idea.
I was like, what's an easy way to do this? You're like, no
Nope.
clue.
Yeah, I'm not the Pitco guy. I mean, I know basic stuff on them, but I just like where I work at, we kind of get lumped in like certain things. So I do most of the Frymaster stuff, and then I do most of the Altosham stuff, and I'm back up on some other lines. But the other guy does Pitco. He was actually on a cruise ship where I would have asked him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's kind of an odd spot, but it is what it is. There's really one way for it to happen. I'm just baffled or curious to find out what killed that transformer, because transformers don't just go bad, so I'll have to dig into that and see.
Yeah, a lot of times shorts take them out. I mean,
Yeah.
that, or if you hook it up to, say, if it's like, I know there's some pizza ovens, like if it's a 208 unit, make sure your transformer is tied into 208, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, make sure it's hooked up to the right voltage on the input side. Because I got one, I did a video on one. It was kind of crazy. It was a little Lincoln pizza oven, tabletop oven I had that I rebuilt. And I hooked it up to 240, and it was literally on the secondary side putting out like 30 volts. So I hooked up to 208. It was putting out like 37 volts. I was like, holy smokes.
It's smoking
like,
it.
Yeah, I think it was overshooting like crazy, but
just a transformer issue, or is it just because your incoming voltage?
No, it was just had to be a transfer issue because I had it hooked up to 240 and I was only running like 237 at my house. I was like, this is nuts. I was kind of freaked out about it. So Dalwin says, hey guys, any Altosham combi ever training? They're back to doing their in-person stuff in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, just north of Green Bay. I'm not sure if they're doing any online or not. I haven't looked into that. Actually, I was supposed to go back. I think I'm going in May, going back up there for a week to do the master certified stuff. I tried getting someone else to go up there instead of me, but it didn't work.
Was that to Altosham?
Yeah, Altosham. You ever work on those?
Which ones? Well, just the brand, or
Well, the combi ovens they have.
I haven't seen any Altosham combi ovens down here.
So they're boilerless, man. They don't have a whole lot to them. They're pretty easy to work on. They're pretty nice to work on.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen the Blodgetts and the Rationales and Convotherms. It's mainly all I've seen down here.
Yeah, we got a pretty good variety up here. So there's some Altosham up here, but no, I know if you email the tech support, Darwin, they'll tell you their training schedule. Actually, hold on, let me check my text because I texted one of their guys last week asking him. And no, there was nothing online. So where you work, it's the CTC 20G. That's a fun one. So it's not the Pro, so it's the classic line. So it's not the touchscreen. You have any issues with the Darwin, or just rocking and rolling, or just trying to get some information ahead of time? So no, one of my goals working here is I wanted to actually be like a corporate trainer to train technicians across the board. I didn't want to do it full time. I wanted to do it like part time and still stay in the field part time. I just feel that if I became out of the field full time, I'd just lose relevancy. The way technology's changing on this stuff, it's crazy. I mean, there's stuff you didn't think would change. It's already changed. 6 months or a year later, I'm like, they change, revamped the whole line. I'm like this line wasn't even that old and it's revamped. So just like the Fried Master at Taco Bell, I mean, they've got like 2 different versions of that, and the second one's nothing like the original one. It's like, holy cow, I started one up. I was like, well, this is weird. Pumps in a different spot, turned a different way. It's crazy. So,
yeah, it's almost like you got to keep your hands on that stuff. If you're a trainer, you almost have to keep your hands on stuff because it's always changing. You're always going to get questions on new equipment. And if you're not relevant to it, then I mean, it kind of hinders your training abilities.
Yeah, yep. So that's why I want to make sure I stayed in the field. So we'll see what happens. I did get an email about doing some more video work with some other with our parent company. So we'll see. I'm excited about that. I'm always excited to do some video work and get myself on camera. So we'll see.
Mm.
My
Didn't
last
you
one's
do
have
one of those recently for that?
I did one in the fall, and it's scheduled to come out this current fall. So they like to
Okay.
bank a whole bunch. So they record a whole bunch and bank it.
Hmm.
So and that was just like basic, like how to clean your fryer, how to clean your grill, that kind of stuff, and like basic programming. They want to get into like actual maintenance stuff and tear down stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Hmm.
So one has an error code 88 and an 89. I have to look and see what that is. Um, let's look. Uh, if you send me a message, or I'll reply back to this comment later what the 88 and 89 is. I don't know off the top of my head. That's the bad thing. I work on so many different pieces of equipment. It's kind of hard to keep up. I don't know how I do it really.
You got to keep all the manuals. I got so many manuals just downloaded to my phone. It's like a
Oh yeah,
Rolodex, man.
bookmarked. I come
Yeah.
across a good one. I bookmark it. The Parstown app. We had our own section of a website, in house for years, where we kept manuals and stuff, and some of it's
Hmm.
still on there, and they're kind of phasing out some of it. So stuff that's doubled over that Parstown has, we don't carry anymore, and I think eventually they're gonna pretty much phase it all out on our end. Just all be on Parstown. So
Yeah.
because I'd get a manual, and I used to send it into our IT guys, and they'd upload it to that section. So
They're good to have. I screenshot a lot of wiring diagrams too, like
yeah,
just so I can kind of reference that.
yeah. So Quentin Webb says can't remember everything. Knowing how to find it or work it out on your own is the key. Yeah, that's my saying, man. I'm like, people are like, how do you remember all this? I'm like, I don't remember it all. I just have a good place to find everything, and knowing where to find information is the key.
Mm.
You better stop it, man. I've been up since 4 this morning.
I've been up since about 5:30.
You need to get up earlier and go
Yeah.
work out.
Hey man, I've been meaning to. I try to do it at night, but I might start doing it in the morning because at night I'm like, yeah, I'm tired
Dude, once I come home, I'm
tonight.
done. Like my buddy knows I come home, so he's like, "Hey, you want to play video games or something?" So I force myself to get up an hour earlier than I need to and just do it. I have
Yeah.
the best luck with that. So, all right. Well, I don't want to stay on here too long. Trying to dwindle my week down so I go on vacation. Um,
When do you go into vacation?
I'm leaving tomorrow night, late tomorrow night or early Saturday morning. I haven't made up my mind yet. So I'm going to Orlando for a week. I'm going to NAFM, which is North American Association for Food Equipment Manufacturers. I'm sure I butchered that, but
Oh yeah.
all the manufacturers will be there for all their latest and greatest stuff. And then I'll leave there Saturday. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm doing AHR, so I'll be at the Tactical Awards Sunday night, and then I will be on the floor at AHR Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll be recording Wednesday live from the floor with Colton. I'm not going. Well, Hinkowski. I'll butcher his last name. He goes by the Viking Pipe Fitter on Instagram and TikTok and everything. He
Okay.
works for Viega. So he's gonna come on, and I was trying to get a food service guy there, but I couldn't nail anybody down. So
Yeah.
me and him were talking, and I was like, "Hey, I'll just interview you," and he said, "Sure." So I got a pretty cool opportunity to interview him. We're gonna talk about the trades and that kind of stuff. I think he's a really good person for the trades. He's a younger guy, but he does a lot of cool stuff the younger guys can gravitate to. So I think he's doing some pretty good, cool stuff to try to get the younger generation involved. So
Yeah.
plus he has all the cool tools. I mean, he's always pressing all kinds of stuff. He made some stupid expensive hat holder out of Mega Press, I think it was, or Press G. It was stupid. It was a hat
It's
holder
just
he
like a
made. It
just like a
was
copper hat holder.
no, it was like black iron, like big black iron. It was
Oh,
all
was
kinds of
it?
crazy
Oh,
stuff. Yeah.
nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
Viega, they make press for everything: stainless,
Did they
black
really?
iron, copper, PEX. I mean, the only thing I think they don't do is refrigeration. I'm sure they'll work their way into it eventually.
Oh, okay. I was thinking they did refrigeration, but I guess it's
Nope,
more the plumbing aspect.
it's all anything plumbing and refrigeration. I mean, there's several companies out there, but I work with RLS. Nothing like formal, but I mean, I do some stuff with them. I'm actually one of the captains for the competition. They're doing a
Oh, okay.
competition in their booth. So Monday there's 3 of us, 3 teams, and then Tuesday there's 3 teams, and then the winners each day get a prize. So I got picked to be one of the captains. So I went north of the border, found a couple of Canadians I could bring in to to help me out. I don't know if you've seen one of his videos on Instagram. I think it was yesterday. I think it was what movie was it from? Was it Step Brothers where he buried him?
Oh, burying you.
Yeah, he took that and he twisted it up and I have to find it and see it, but he put burying the other guys in the competition. It was just hilarious. I had to ask RLS. I was like, "Hey, I was like, this guy wants to, stir some shit up and talk some shit." I was like, "Is that cool?" And they're like, "Just do it." I'm like, "Okay, it's on."
It's on. So is it with Viega or is it with RLS?
No, that's just RLS. So
Okay.
it's a competition. We got to make. They're gonna have a design, and we got to make that design. So everything's gonna be pre-cut and then that kind of stuff. So I'm anxious to see what it is. There's 6 teams. 5 of them have been announced captain-wise. The 6th one's a mystery, which I'm not sure. I've been trying to hint around and get them to spill the beans, but they won't do it.
What if it's Jeff J. Dim?
Jeff's one of the captains.
Oh, he is? Nice.
Yeah, so it's Jeff, it's me, it's HVACSG. Who else? I have to look and see. I'm terrible at remembering things. But there's 5 that are announced, 1 mystery, and they won't say who it is. I'm hoping to release it before. I want to know the bracket, so I want to know who I'm going up against. So
I wonder who it could be. Is it Howard? Is it Howard Mechanical?
It may be Howard Mechanical. I don't know. I thought maybe it'd be Brent Ridley or maybe who'd I say? Who'd I guess? Zach Desjardins.
Oh, from the HVAC
Quality HVAC.
Yeah.
I thought maybe him. They wouldn't say so.
It might be. It's just me. I'll tell you. That's me. I'm the captain.
Hey, I'll bring the tool down. You can try it out one day, man. That's why
I've never used one.
I always tell people, I'm like, if you're in the Indy area and you're guessing, you're second guessing this tool, I was like, I will bring it out to you. I will let you press it on a job. I don't care. I mean, they gave me a tool, and I'm gonna do my best to spread the word on it. Just just out of respect for them. So
yeah, I mean, I don't really do a lot of installs in that light, or you would use that a whole lot. But our install team, I think they would. They do a ton of that.
Yeah, I don't know how I ended up with it. I was at the right place at the right time. So I got it, but I don't use it enough to justify it, honestly. I mean, anytime there's a job where we have a problem getting a burn permit, I go ahead and volunteer, and I just use that just because I can get it done out of the way. Did a lot of work at Riley during the remodel with some stuff that was, we had issues with. I changed compressors or condensing units, and took that in there, and it cut the job time down. Plus, I didn't have to pay 2 guys to stand there. So, but they have a little training section on their website. You can take a little training. You get their little certificate. That you know how to press and stuff.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, I don't see any more questions or anything. Training wise, reach out to manufacturers. Reach out to your bosses. Reach out to Sefesa. There's plenty of it out there online. There's plenty of it's free. Some you got to pay for, but I mean, I'm a firm believer. When I first started doing this, I was told that, you're going to have to do some stuff on your own. And I just always kind of ran with it. I mean, I don't let it affect my personal life or anything, but if I got some time, I'm a firm believer in, driving and listening to a podcast or something. I learned from that stuff. So.
And a lot of it's reaching out to manufacturers, sending an email. Calling, or if you're on the phone with tech support or getting parts, kind of ask them information. And then I think a lot of them will shoot you over, an email, contact, kind of find out, branch out from there. And Sefesa,
Yeah, Sefesa.com. Click on training, and then they have a full schedule on there. There's a full schedule for the rest of the year, and then I think next year comes out in October, November. So they try to have a full year out there. Like you said, they'll do ice machine class in the fall. They may be doing a spring one. I'm not sure. I have to look. They got a combi class coming out in the fall. There's 2 refrigeration classes. They do NTT 3 or 4 times a year. They do EGSW 3 or 4 times a year. So there's all kinds of stuff out there. Like he said, though, if you're talking to a manufacturer on tech support, ask them on training material. They may just, hey, we have this online, take it, So you never know. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Alrighty.